Hey, welcome back to Eepa's Kitchen. Today, as you can see, we got just a crap ton of stuff out. We're gonna make a bunch of appetizers today for the Super Bowl. Oh, sorry, we can't say Super Bowl, so we're gonna call it the big game. So we're gonna do 4 appetizers today. We're gonna kind of roll them out real quick. They're real simple. They're all real simple. They're real easy to do. So you can do multiples if you just want to do one for your big game, why not, whatever. But we're gonna go ahead and roll 4. We're gonna do a fire roasted salsa. We're going to do Pico de Gallo, real simple. We're going to do a chorizo cheese dip, and we're going to make some wings with a couple different toppings on them. So we're going to start with the fire roasted salsa. I've already got the broiler turned on high. I got everything kind of laid out over here. Got a sheet tray with some tomatoes, some garlic cloves still with the paper on them. Got an onion, lime we're going to need in a little bit, and a jalapeno. You can add as many jalapenos as you want. With 4 tomatoes, 1 jalapeno is enough for this group over here. And I'm also going to take the centers out of, all the seeds and everything out of it. So first thing we're going to do, let's move that forward. We'll go ahead and we'll clean up the onion. All we're going to do is just take the skin off, cut it in half so it'll roast real well in the oven. When we put everything in, we're really just looking for it to start to blister and kind of blacken a little bit on the outside. We'll just same thing with the tomatoes and the jalapeno. We'll get those in first, and as those start to roast up after 5 minutes or so, depending on how long it takes for things to get blistered up in there, then we'll add a little olive oil onto the garlic. We'll pop that in there, and then once that's done, we pop off the skins, we blend it up, add a little salt and pepper and a little bit of lime juice, and we're good to go. So with the tomatoes, it's always important, wash first, core second, because anything on the outside, we know how things are grown. Who knows what gets in, a bird comes in and poops on it, whatever. You're pushing it right in. So make sure you wash first, core second, pop the core out, throw those on there. And then with the jalapeno, just kind of remember that those seeds, you're going to rub them on your hands, on your face after you're done. That's not going to be a good time for anybody. So you want to try and keep from being in contact with the seeds. I used to keep my fingers away. Let's get the tomato core. I pull out the ribs, all the seeds. You leave a few seeds in there, give it a little extra heat. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then it's always a good idea when you're done to wash your hands after you're touching these, especially if you end up touching your eyes or, God forbid, use the restroom. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the stem off this one. The other one popped off already, so we're good to go there. That's it. I'm gonna put them under the broiler. It's already set it high. We'll come back and check it in a little while. I'm just gonna give myself a reminder. All right. While that's happening, we're gonna go ahead and prep the chicken wings. We'll get them disjointed and get them ready to go into the oven. This up here. All right, so the wings, these are pretty simple to work with. I'm going to change boards out. Again, we talked about cross-contamination before. It's real important with the chicken. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the chicken wings out, and these are pretty easy to separate. We're going to cut off this little tip piece here. You can throw that in the garbage. You can save it. You can make chicken stock out of it if you so choose. We're not doing that today. So you just kind of find the joint with your knife, cut it in half. Same thing here with this one. You just kind of find that joint. They come apart real easy. So you got your flat and your drumstick. All right. We're going to go ahead and get a bowl for these. Set that over there. You know what? We're going to do something different here. Let's start with this one. Because we're going to have to dry these off, I'm going to toss these all in these one with the paper towel here. Taking these apart. We want to dry them off real good before we put on the baking powder. What the baking powder does is it gives it a real nice crispy finish in the oven. Before we apply our sauces. All right. All right, so we're going to get rid of all this, avoid our cross-contamination. Pull this up. We're just going to take another paper towel and lay it over the top. Kind of press it down. So we got the majority of the moisture off of there. And what we'll do is we're just going to put them in the bowl. Okay, get rid of this. All right, so we've got our wings all disjointed in here. Got our baking powder. It's about a tablespoon. It's easier if you put it through one of these little sifters. Just pour it in there. You just want to give it a little stir around. It kind of spreads it out a little easier. And once you do that, you're just going to kind of shake them around in here with the spoon. You want to try and get all the sides coated. You can always add a little more if you didn't get enough, or if you have more wings and you're not getting a good coating on it. But this is pretty good here. You can see kind of got a good coating on all of those. And what we'll do is we're going to get a little bit of non-stick spray. I'm just going to give that rack a little spray. All right, got some foil underneath to make easy cleanup. And then what we'll do, we'll just lay these out. Try to keep them from touching as much as possible. All right. All right, I'm going to go ahead and check our veggies in the oven real quick. All right, they're starting to roast up real nice. And then you can see the tomatoes are starting to get a little dark. The peppers are starting to get dark. The onions still need a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and just turn these just a little bit. They're kind of hot. You can use tongs if you want to. And then I'm going to go ahead and add the garlic. All right, so we got 4 cloves of garlic here. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil on them. Right in here. All right. And then we're going to hit it for another 5 minutes, and then we'll see how they look. All right, so it's been another 5-6 minutes. We're going to take a quick look at what's going on in the oven. Oh, that looks nice. So we've got, set this up here real quick. So tomatoes got a nice char on them. Pepper's done. We've got a char on the onion, and it's already getting soft. Garlic is already getting soft. I'm going to put it over here to the side for a little bit, and we're going to get working on the wings again. We're going to set our oven to 425, and then ready to go. We're going to go ahead and put our wings in. We're going to check them in about 15 minutes, turn them, cook them for another 10-15 minutes. And once they're done, we'll have some sauces ready and we'll get them going. So we're going to go ahead and just put those in right now. All right. All right, we're going to jump in and we're going to work on our Pico de Gallo. Real simple. Tomatoes, pepper, onion, cilantro. Don't put it too far back in your fridge like I did and freeze part of it that I did throw away. Got some lime juice and we'll add some salt. It's real simple. Probably the most work it's gonna involve is just cutting up your veggies nice and small, and not cutting your fingertips off. So some of the restaurants have these really nice little dice machines. They're nice. They're expensive, but if the tomatoes are too ripe, they don't work very well. So I recommend just having a nice sharp knife. Cut them in half. Once you cut your tomato in half, keep your fingers out of the way. Just make a few slits across this direction. All right. And then a few down this direction. Try to judge about the size of the little cubes of tomato you want. And then you just go across the front. Just cut across, and you get nice little squares. When you get down to the back part, it's going to be a little bit more of a chunk. Kind of flip it. Same thing across the side. Got your little chunks again. All that can just get scooped up and go in your bowl. So we're going to do that with all our tomatoes. Similar process will happen with the onion. It's about a 4-to-1 ratio, tomatoes to onions. Your preferences may change that. And the lime is all kind of based on what you want to do. I figure at this amount of tomato and onion, 1 lime generally does the trick. About 2 teaspoons of salt. And it's it. It's a very simple recipe. Go ahead and we'll do our onion. So like we were saying before, these are going to be for the big game. And my team is out of it, but my team was out of it before the season started. We don't have an actual representation yet of who's going to be there, but I believe Derek's team has a better shot than obviously mine even considered having. So he will probably get gloating this year. So same deal with the onion as we did with the tomato. Nice even slits across. Same thing going down. And then across. Yeah, a pretty good size. And add them in. When you're done with the Pico de Gallo, I recommend just leaving it sit out on the counter maybe an hour before you eat it. It gives a chance for the juices to come out of the tomatoes and the spice to just kind of absorb into each other, especially with your pepper. Flatten it out, and we'll do the same deal again. Just kind of make the little slits right across, little strips there. Spin them around, and we're just going to try and get these as small as we can get them. Looks pretty good. Make a little in. And the last thing we'll do is we'll chop up some cilantro. Stay to the top. You don't want to use a lot of the stems. So you want to get mostly leaves. So I do is just kind of wind it up a little bit and bring my knife across. You're going to use, for this many, about a half a bunch, maybe a little bit more than a bunch of cilantro. And then what we do with this is we just kind of cross chop it just to get it in some nice small pieces. Not quite as small as those jalapeños, but you don't want big chunks of the leaf every time you take a bite of your dip either. All right, it sounds like our chicken. I'm gonna go ahead and pause this for a sec and we'll go take a look and see how they are. Oh yeah, they're starting to get a little crispy on the outside. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna turn them all over. We'll pull them out. I'll pull them out so you guys can see a little better. All right, we're just gonna flip them. And we'll put them in for another, we'll do 10 minutes and we'll just take a look at them. Stick a thermometer and see how hot they are. All right, back to the cilantro. I think we're just about there. All right, that looks pretty good. You can kind of see it's nice little pieces like that. There are some bigger leaves, but it's not full size. Right there. We'll put that in. Right. I think what we'll do now, we're going to move this out of the way. We'll go ahead and finish it up. So the next thing we need to add is lime. Just cut it in half. These have been out, I think I've talked to you guys before. You want to keep your, when you're doing lime or anything like that, you want to keep it out for about an hour. So you want it out of the refrigerator. Want it warmed up. The juice comes out a lot better that way. Anytime you're juicing any kind of fruit, you want it out at room temperature. Oranges, anything like that. Lemons, limes. All right. And then we're going to add a couple teaspoons of just table salt. All right. And we'll stir it up. And then we're just going to let it sit while we get everything else going. Get a nice mix in there. Such a nice color. It smells good. Chips and a beer. You can do this. You don't have to wait for a big football game. You can do this anytime. These are great on tacos. We'll grill skirt steak or chicken. Put it on tortillas. Add a little of this. You don't really need any other kind of salsa. Again, you can do whatever you want, but it's good stuff there. The main thing you want to do is you want to make sure you get those jalapeños mixed in there with everything, so you get a nice even heat all the way through. All right, looks good. We'll set that up there. Let you admire it while I get cleaned up, and we're gonna move on to the next step. All right, our next dip is gonna be a chorizo and cheese dip. We're just gonna do it in the cast iron skillet here. We'll just split this open just to get ready. So that's ready to go. We're gonna chop up our garlic. While that's happening, I'm gonna take our skillet, I'm gonna put it over on the fire just to start getting it hot. So somewhere along here, we lost audio. So I'm gonna do a little voiceover for you guys and tell you what we're doing. So we're getting the skillet hot right now, and I'm turning knobs. And I'm turning the knob again, because that's what I do. So over here, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take the skin off the garlic. We're gonna mince it up. We're gonna take a close-up of my hands. Look how beautiful I do this. Peel all that off. We're gonna mince it up nice and small. Look how beautifully I do that. I was probably telling you how great I am at everything right now, but I don't remember for sure. So we're just gonna go ahead and believe that's what I said. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add the chorizo to the skillet. And using multiple tools because I couldn't find the first one that I liked. we're going to mash it up in there and start getting it browned. There we go. This one will work better. So that skillet's kind of at a medium-high heat, so this will brown pretty quickly. We'll get it going for a little bit, then we'll add the garlic. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, here I am. I'm temping the chicken wings. Yeah, they're not ready yet. We want them to be about 165 degrees, so we'll just leave them. No, I'm over here. Remember all those veggies that we roasted? I'm going to go ahead and put them in the blender here. We're going to pile everything in nice and tight. I'm holding my hand up real high because that's how tall I was when I started doing this. Actually, that's just me reminding you to hold down on the top of the blender cup so it doesn't shoot out because those vegetables are still warm. Don't forget when you throw the garlic in, see what we're doing there? We're going to peel those skins off. Nothing like skins in your salsa. So we've got the onions, we got the pepper in there, got our garlic and tomato. I'm probably telling you how great I am at peeling these things. Look at that. Oh, he's a king. All right, a little bit of salt, say about a tablespoon or so, maybe 2. Boom, that looked like 1. A little black pepper. As soon as I can figure out how to open it. Yeah, it's about a teaspoon. Yeah, see? All right, we're going to squeeze some lime in there. Remember, you want to get those limes out of room temperature so they're nice and juicy. Give them a good squish. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Nothing like lime juice. Don't waste it. Use both halves. All right. Now we're going to tear off some cilantro and shove it in there. Mash it in real good. Look at that. All right. Here's you got to hold that lid on. Remember I was holding my hand up real high? I'm reminding you of that right now. Give it a pulse. We want to try and blend this, but we don't want it like smooth like baby food. A little bit of consistency to it. So we're going to pulse it a few times. We're going to get that cilantro all beat up in there. Look at, let some gas out. Give it another push. Go ahead and just check and make sure that you got most of the big chunks out. I'm trying to show Derek, but I'm not really doing a good job of it. All right, well, we're back over by the cilantro. It's nice and brown. I'm sorry, I meant the chorizo. We just put the garlic in there. We're going to stir it up and let it cook for a little while. Give it a good scrape. Get that stuff that's caramelized on the bottom up. All right, cut the flame back. You can kind of see the juice that came out of it. Now we'll bring it over here. Keep it nice and flat. We're going to go ahead and add our Mexican cheese on the top. Remember, more cheese is always good. I think we used a Chihuahua cheese this time. Just really load it up. We're going to put it under the broiler and get it nice and melted. A little brown on the top is always good. Don't be afraid to put a lot of cheese in there. All right, so we're going to go ahead and make the sauces for our wings. First one we're going to do is the spicy buffalo. I just bought some local buffalo sauce. I got about 4 tablespoons of butter. We're going to put in about a half a cup of hot sauce. We'll get that on the stove in a second, melt it, blend it. Real simple. And then for the garlic parmesan, we got another like 4 tablespoons of butter. We use some olive oil. There's a few tablespoons of that in there. We've got 2 to 3 tablespoons of minced garlic, and then some Parmesan cheese that we already had pre-grated. That Parmesan cheese, there's, I don't know, about a half a cup. Yeah. What we'll do is we'll get both these pans on the stove and we'll melt these down and we'll toss the wings in them. A little bit of salt too. Gotta have salt. So you can see how that butter's blending with the buffalo sauce. Just pick a brand that you like. Hot, mild, whatever. Over here we can see everything starting to melt together. You want to let that garlic cook in and infuse a little bit with the butter and the Parmesan cheese. Okay, wings are out of the oven. Sauces are done. We're going to go ahead and just get these guys sauced up. It's our spicy buffalo. It's kind of mildly spicy, but you get the point. I got a pair of tongs. So we're just going to flip these around in here a little bit. Try to get them coated on all sides. Just about there on this one. Yeah. All right, so those will be nice and spicy on your palate. All right, and then we've got our garlic butter sauce. So we're going to go ahead and stir that up just a bit. Pour it over the top. Get all that garlicky goodness on there. Cheese, yum. All right, we'll stir these guys up. All right. We'll plate them, and then we're going to put a little bit of parsley over the top for some color on these guys. So give me a second to get those on the plate, and we'll come back and we'll start getting some samples, all right? All right, so it looks like our chorizo is about ready to go here with the cheese on top. Ooh, a nice golden brown color. That's gonna be delicious. So here we have our plated wings. We've got some carrots and celery sticks and our blue cheese dressing to go with them. We've got our 2 salsas. There's our fire roasted and our Pico de Gallo. And we've got some really nice chips to go along with them. And we'll have some tortillas for our chorizo dip. All right, so Derek and I are going to give these a try. We're going to probably have some beers with these. You guys can do whatever you want. Right now, I think because I can't remember what we originally said, I'm pretty sure I'm talking about how great again I did on this, and Derek is nodding along and telling me, I can't wait to eat this. There he is. He's pointing at everything he's going to eat. Oh, that's when we're talking about like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget about that. Now we're going to eat. See ya. Yum, look at that. Oh, that looks good.